I don't know why I'm writing this at 3 a.m. You're asleep in the next room. I can hear the air conditioner you always set too cold, the one I used to complain about every single night, how it made the room feel like winter, how I'd wake up with my shoulders tight, curled into myself under the blankets. I'm not complaining anymore. I haven't complained about it in weeks. I keep thinking about Tuesday, not the whole day, just one part, one small, forgettable part that I can't stop replaying. You were in the kitchen. It was early, maybe 6:30. You were making coffee, standing at the counter in that old t-shirt you've had since college, the one with the hole near the hem that you refused to throw away. Your hair was messy. You hadn't showered yet. You were just standing there, waiting for the coffee to brew, looking out the window at the backyard. I walked in to get water. You asked if I wanted a cup. I said I'd make my own in a minute. I had to send an email first, something for work, something that felt urgent at the time, though I can't remember now what it was about or why it mattered. You said okay. You poured 1 cup, just yours. You added the cream, the 2 sugars, and you walked past me into the living room. I sent the email. By the time I came back to make coffee, you were on the couch with your book, the one you've been reading forever, the one with the bent cover and the pages that are starting to come loose. I made my coffee and went upstairs to get ready for work. It was nothing. That's what I keep telling myself. It was a nothing moment, a forgettable Tuesday morning, the kind we've had 1,000 times. But I've been thinking about it for 6 days now. I've been thinking about the way you didn't wait for me, the way you just poured your cup and left, like you'd stopped expecting me to sit down, like you'd learned not to ask twice. The doctor said aggressive 3 times during that appointment. I counted. You didn't. You were looking up at the ceiling tiles, the kind with the little holes in them, the kind every medical office has, like they all order from the same catalog. I wondered if you were counting those instead, if you were trying to distract yourself, if you were doing that thing you do when you're scared, where you focus on something meaningless so you don't have to focus on what's real. I wanted to reach for your hand. I didn't. I just sat there with my hands in my lap, listening to words like treatment options and quality of life and timeline. And I kept thinking about how cold the room was, how the air conditioning was too high, how you were probably freezing in just your sweater. When we got to the parking lot, you said you were hungry. Not sad, not scared, hungry. We went to that diner, the one we always say we should go to more often, but never do because it's 20 minutes out of the way, and there are closer places, easier places. You ordered pancakes. I watched you pour the syrup. Too much, like always. I opened my mouth to say something about your blood sugar. You're supposed to be careful. The doctor said so last year. But I stopped myself. What's the point now? You cut the pancakes into small pieces, smaller than necessary. You always do that. You always have. Even when we first started dating, and I used to tease you about it, you'd say you liked them better that way, that it made them last longer. You ate half. You pushed the plate to the side and folded your hands on the table and looked at me like you were waiting for me to say something. I didn't know what to say. I still don't. I've been trying to remember the last time I really looked at you. Not glanced. Not the quick assessment you do when someone walks into a room to make sure they're okay, that nothing's wrong, that everything's still normal, but really looked. I think it was 2 months ago, maybe 3. You were on the couch reading that same book. The lamp was on behind you, the tall one that's too bright, but you like it because you say it's good for your eyes. Your hair was getting long. It kept falling forward, and you kept pushing it back behind your ear, over and over, without looking up from the page. I was standing in the doorway with a basket of laundry. I almost said something. I don't remember what. Something about dinner, probably. Or the thing in the garage that needed fixing. Or whether we should buy a new rug for the hallway, because the old one was coming apart at the edges. I didn't say anything. I didn't want to interrupt you. You looked peaceful. There's this other moment that keeps coming back to me at the wrong times. Last summer, July, maybe. We were driving somewhere. I don't remember where. Somewhere we'd been before. Somewhere routine. You were in the passenger seat, looking out the window. There was this quality to the light. Late afternoon, golden, the kind that makes everything look softer and warmer than it really is. The kind of light people try to capture in photographs, but never quite get right. You said something about the trees, how full they were, how green, how you loved this time of year when everything felt alive. I said yeah. I kept driving. I was thinking about traffic, about what time we'd get home, about whether I'd remembered to lock the back door. You were looking at the trees. I think about that a lot now. How you were looking at the trees, and I was thinking about the back door. How you were noticing the world, and I was already 3 steps ahead, planning, organizing, managing the next thing and the thing after that. How I said yeah, like it was enough. We've had the same argument for 15 years. Not one argument. The same one, over and over. About the thermostat. About how to load the dishwasher. About whether we really need to leave that early for the airport. About who said what and when, and whether it was Tuesday or Wednesday. Small things, stupid things. Things that became patterns that became the architecture of us. I wanted to win those arguments. I needed to be right. I can't remember now what being right was supposed to give me. Last night you fell asleep on the couch at 6:30. I was in the kitchen, cleaning up from dinner. I heard the TV go quiet, and I looked over, and you were asleep, your head tilted to the side, your mouth slightly open. I got the blanket. The gray one that's falling apart, the one I keep saying we should replace, the one you won't let me throw away because your mom made it. I covered you. I stood there for a minute, watching you breathe. I counted without meaning to. 7 seconds in. Pause. 7 seconds out. I wanted to wake you up, not for any reason, not because you needed to go to bed or take your medication, or because I needed something from you. I just wanted you awake. I wanted to ask you something. Anything. What you wanted for breakfast. If you'd seen my phone charger. If you remembered the name of that hotel we stayed at in Portland. In 2012. The one with the weird art in the lobby. I wanted to hear your voice. I let you sleep. There's this thing you do with your hands when you're anxious. You press your thumbnail into the pad of your middle finger. Over and over. A small repetitive gesture that most people wouldn't notice. I've seen you do it 100 times. In waiting rooms. During phone calls with your mother. That time we were late for your sister's wedding and couldn't find parking. And you were convinced we were going to miss the ceremony. You were doing it on Tuesday, in the car, after the diner. Your hands in your lap. Thumbnail pressing into finger. Press, release. Press, release. I reached over and took your hand. You stopped. You didn't say anything. You just turned your hand over and laced your fingers through mine. We drove the rest of the way home like that. Neither of us said a word. I keep making lists in my head. Things I need to tell you. Things I should have said years ago. Things that seemed too small to bother mentioning, but now feel enormous, urgent, unbearably important. How you hum when you're concentrating on something. Not a song, just a low, tuneless hum that fills the space around you. How you put your left shoe on first, every single time. I've never asked you why. How you smile with just one corner of your mouth when you're trying not to laugh at something you think you shouldn't find funny. How you cry at commercials, but not at movies. How you say it's because commercials catch you off guard. How you've kept every birthday card I've ever given you. Every anniversary card. Every stupid Valentine's Day card from the grocery store. I know because I found them once, years ago. You'd put them in the drawer of your nightstand, bundled together with a rubber band. You never mentioned it. I never brought it up. We have 3 months, maybe 4, if we're lucky. That's what the doctor said. If the treatment works, if your body responds, if we're lucky. Lucky, what a word. I've been thinking about all the time we wasted. Not the years. We didn't waste the years, the minutes. All those individual minutes I let slip past because I thought there would be more. Because I thought time was something we were owed, something guaranteed, something that would just keep coming because we wanted it to. The mornings I left early for work when I didn't have to. The evenings I spent on my phone, scrolling through nothing while you sat 3 feet away. The nights I fell asleep without saying goodnight because I was tired or distracted or already thinking about tomorrow. The times I said, "in a minute," and never came back. The times you asked me to sit down and I said I was too busy. All those minutes. This morning, you made toast. You put butter on it the way you always do, right to the edges, evenly, like it matters, like someone's going to inspect it, like there's a correct way to butter toast and you're determined to get it right. You offered me half. I took it. We stood at the counter and ate toast together in silence because it was 7:15 and we were both still waking up, and there was nothing that needed to be said, except it wasn't a normal morning. Every morning now is countable. Every piece of toast matters. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to watch you get smaller. How to pretend I don't notice when you can't finish your coffee. When you need to sit down halfway through folding the laundry. When you take longer and longer to climb the stairs. I don't know how to be the person who stays while you go. I don't know how to let you leave me. You asked me last week if I was okay. We were in bed. The lights were off. You were already half asleep. Your voice muffled by the pillow, soft and distant. I said I was fine. You said okay. Your breathing changed, deepened. You were asleep. I lay there in the dark, listening to the air conditioner, and I wanted to wake you up. I wanted to say, no, I'm not fine. I'm not even close to fine. I'm falling apart and I don't know how to hold myself together. But I didn't, because this isn't about me. This is happening to you, and I'm just the one who gets to stay. And I don't have the right to make it harder by falling apart when you're the one who's dying. I keep thinking about the beginning, that first apartment, the one with the broken heater. Do you remember? We'd pile every blanket we owned on the bed. 4, 5, 6 blankets, whatever we could find, and you'd still press your cold feet against my legs in the middle of the night. I used to complain. God, I complained about that so much. I'd jerk away and tell you to wear socks, and you'd laugh and do it again 5 minutes later. I'd give anything now. I'd give anything to feel your cold feet against my legs. I'd give anything for one more morning where the biggest problem we have is a broken heater. There's so much I wanted us to do. Not big things. I don't mean trips or adventures or bucket lists. I just mean more of the small things. More mornings with toast. More drives with no destination. More evenings where we sit on the couch and don't talk, and it's enough. More time where I'm not thinking about the next thing. More time where I'm just here with you, paying attention. You're still asleep in the other room. In a few hours, you'll wake up. You'll come into the kitchen and ask if there's coffee. I'll say I just made it. You'll add too much cream, like always. You'll stand at the counter and blow on it, even though it's not that hot. We'll sit at the table. Maybe I'll tell you what I've been thinking about. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just watch you drink your coffee and try to memorize it. The way you hold the mug with both hands, like you're trying to keep them warm, even though it's summer. The way you look out the window at the backyard, at nothing in particular. The way you exist in the world. Maybe that will be enough. I don't know how to end this. I don't think there is an ending. Just this moment, and the next one, and the one after that. However many we have left. I'm sorry I didn't pay better attention. I'm sorry I thought we had more time. I'm sorry I ever said in a minute when you asked me to sit down. I'm sorry for every morning I made my own coffee. The air conditioner is still running. You're still breathing. It's 4 a.m. now. In a few hours, we'll have another day. I'm going to try to be there for all of it, this time.